What if I told you Tom Holland almost never became Spider Man? Today, when people hear the name Tom Holland, they instantly think of Spider Man. The flips, the jokes, the awkward Peter Parker energy, the emotional scenes with Iron Man, and that iconic Marvel entrance. But the crazy thing is, Tom Holland was not the obvious choice. In fact, before he became one of the most loved Spider Man actors in the world, he was just a young British actor trying to prove that he belonged in Hollywood. And Marvel was not just looking for another actor, they were looking for someone who could carry one of the biggest superhero characters in cinema history. That pressure was massive because Spider Man had already been played by Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield. Both had huge fan bases, so when Marvel and Sony decided to bring Spider Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, everyone knew one thing: whoever got this role would either become a superstar or be destroyed by comparison. Tom Holland had talent, but he was still not a global household name. He had experience on stage. He had done acting work. He had even trained as a dancer and gymnast, which later became one of his biggest advantages. But at that time, thousands of young actors wanted the same role, and many of them were more famous than him. So Tom had to do something different. He had to show Marvel that he was not just acting like Spider Man, he had to prove that he could physically become Spider Man. During his audition process, Tom Holland didn't just read lines, he brought energy, he brought awkwardness, he brought humor. And most importantly, he brought movement. This was a kid who could literally flip into the frame. And that made Marvel look at him differently because Spider Man is not like every other superhero. Iron Man has the suit, Captain America has the shield, Thor has the hammer, but Spider Man is all movement. He swings, he jumps, he flips, he lands badly, he gets back up. And Tom Holland could do that naturally. Still, getting the role was not easy. The audition process went on and on. Tom had to screen test. He had to perform with other Marvel actors. He had to wait and wait and wait. Imagine being that close to the biggest opportunity of your life, but not knowing if it is actually yours. At one point, Tom was checking online like everyone else, waiting to see who Marvel would choose. And then finally, the news came. Tom Holland was Spider Man. But here's what makes the story even more interesting. When Tom got the role, not everyone was convinced. Some fans thought he was too young, some thought he was too unknown, some were still attached to Andrew Garfield. And some people simply didn't believe he could handle the pressure. But then Captain America Civil War happened. Tom Holland appeared for the first time as Spider Man, and in just a few minutes, he changed everything. He was nervous, he was funny, he was innocent. He felt like a real teenager who suddenly found himself standing in front of legends. And that was exactly what made him perfect. He was not trying to be the coolest person in the room. He was trying to survive being in the room. That is Peter Parker. That is Spider Man. From that moment, fans started to understand why Marvel chose him. Then came Spider Man, Homecoming. And suddenly, Tom Holland was not just the new Spider Man, he was the Spider Man of a new generation. He brought something different to the role. Tobey gave us the emotional, classic Peter Parker. Andrew gave us the charming, stylish version. But Tom gave us the young kid who was still learning what it means to be a hero. He made mistakes. He talked too much. He wanted approval. He looked up to Tony Stark. He wanted to be an Avenger so badly that he almost forgot what being Spider Man really meant. And that made his journey feel personal because Tom Holland's Spider Man was not born perfect. He had to grow into the suit, just like Tom Holland had to grow into the role. And that is why this story is so powerful. Because if Marvel had chosen someone else, the entire direction of Spider Man in the MCU could have been different. No, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. No awkward Peter Parker moments with Ned. No emotional connection with Tony Stark. No Spider Man, no way home, the way we know it. And maybe no moment where three generations of Spider Man fans came together in one movie. Tom Holland almost never became Spider Man, but once he did, he made the role impossible to ignore. He proved that sometimes the best casting choice is not the biggest name. It is the person who understands the character from the inside, the person who has the heart, the humor, the fear, and the energy. And Tom had all of it, from a young performer fighting for a chance to becoming the face of one of the biggest superhero franchises in the world. Tom Holland's journey is proof that one role can change everything, but only if the right person gets the chance. And that is why today, when people say Spider Man, millions of fans instantly think of Tom Holland.